Welcome back to Black Clover Anime Review. This is episode number 50. And just by sheer coincidence, despite the fact, yes, this is the 50th episode of my anime review series, it's also going to be reviewing the 100th episode of the anime. We won't lose to you, and I'm also going to review the 219th chapter of the manga, Black as Black Can Be. Yeah, that's the name of these episodes. Yep, this episode, basically, talk about the episode first. It pretty much finishes up adapting chapter 154, goes through the entirety of chapters 155, 156, and stops at like page 3 of chapter 157. And wow, it is so amazing how good this episode is. There's like 2 fights this episode. Now, oddly enough, the episode picks up kind of where last week's episode left off, with something that actually did not happen in the manga. I think this is anime original. And also, this episode's really weird. First, you have the opening narration to explain the premise of the series. Fine. And instead of basically what the previous, 98 episodes in the first episode do this, where you have a previously on segment. And this episode is the first one since the pilot not to do this. Yeah, this is something. Wow, I never expected basically this to happen. Because, here's the thing, like I said, not since the pilot we've actually had this at all in this series. No previously on segment. I don't know if this is going to be the case, I don't think it's the case for next week, but maybe it's because they wanted to save time for this episode. And, now here's the thing, when it cuts to the opening titles, it's the same song. No change there, except they updated the visuals to basically include stuff that would happen this very episode. Which is kind of spoiling the episode, but yeah, I love the fact they updated the visuals. I mean, yes, it's a 100 episode series. Now, here's the strange thing when it comes to anime. Whenever they get to 100 episodes, they don't take it seriously. It's kind of the same thing when they reach 100 chapters in the manga. They don't do a big celebration for it. Nope. But here's the thing, the series has been on the air officially now for almost 2 years. Yes, next month marks 2 years since the series has been on the air. And I've only been reviewing the series for almost a year now. Yes, I think, it's been almost a year now since I've been reviewing the series. And I've been reviewing it ever since the Witch's Forest arc. Yes, that's where I started. And now I'm in the reincarnation arc of the series. Yep. Now, the opening title sequence is this. Just, as soon as they get past the open titles, the first thing you see is Yumi and Fenrir in Fenrir's room in the royal capital. Says we have to go out and he explains what happened over the course of the previous 2 episodes back with what happened with Charlotte, Owen, and Clive. The other 2 are basically one is a doctor, the other of course is the Wizard King's assistant. Yep, and of course up to Captain Chilla, which she refers to as the spiny prickly queen. Yeah, that's what he refers to her as, but yeah. But at least Fenrir knows what he's talking about. There's something going on. You see him basically in the pajamas, and then we cut to something really weird. It's he jumps to the portal, and then they have a strange jump cut where he's basically in his regular clothes. Did he manage to slip on these clothes in a matter of 10 seconds? And then we cut back to where we got left off last week's episode with Asta basically yelling at basically that's really him. And we have the elf possessed Hans and basically Klaus. He's the guy with the glasses. And the chubby guy who was also from Golden Dawn, possessed by frickin' elves. They basically launch their attack at Asta and of course Mimosa. And then Yuno blocks it. Yep, Yuno is basically, despite the fact having pointy ears, he is confirmed by Raya that he is not fully awakened. And somehow he's able to retain his normal self despite the fact being possessed by a freaking elf. Yeah, it's later revealed he's actually possessed by the child of Lasat. Lasat himself is actually in this very room. He is just doing nothing. Then you have the awesome fight between... You have sort of a quick fight. We have Asta and Yuno fighting the 2 elves, who basically make a spell where they form a giant freaking tank with spikes in the front. Awesome. And then Yuno and Asta Asta goes to Black Asta mode. Yuno goes to what I call the the Spirit Drive. I like this name better than the Spirit Dive. It's Spirit Drive is a lot more awesome of a name than Dive. I mean, yeah, that's basically what I call it. The person that correct me in the comments when this movie debuted in the anime, they call it the Spirit Dive. I am not really a big fan of the name Dive. I prefer Drive because it sounds more badass. Because it's basically a half crown and actually has a new thing attached to it, a white wing. Now, Asta's Black Asta mode has a wing coming out of his right shoulder. For it's a white wing out of his left shoulder. What the heck does this mean? I have no idea. They basically just plow right through them and they knock him out pretty easily. It's a pretty quick fight. And then Lasant basically takes the two conscious human-possessed elves and then starts his big, humongous fight with and Asta. That basically starts in this very room and then goes out of the Manhattan headquarters, and it looks like they're fighting in frickin' outer space because it looks like they're fighting above the frickin' atmosphere. Now I get the fact, yes, they're using magic, so Måneskin is probably protected, but man, this is probably the first time in this series these characters go to frickin' space. I can tell because it looks like it looks like the sky, and it looks like they're fighting in frickin' outer space. Mostly it's just, when Lasant fighting him, and of course Asta gets second wind, goes back to his Black Asta mode, blasts right through the floor where he's at. Well, he had also punched through a bunch of walls, go right through. We also see Zor, who takes Captain Meliona and takes her to a tree, just lays her there. And then, of course, you have also, before they go into the sky, you have Lasat, basically. They're about to launch a battle, and Lasat just runs right up to him really quickly. Yeah, apparently he's like the freaking Flash. Takes Asta's skinny sword, not the big, huge one, the skinny one, and he proceeds to turn it white. Yeah, of course, it's noted by Raya that these swords and Asta's grimoire used to belong to Lasat. Of course, it's going to be explained later on of why he doesn't take back the other sword and his grimoire. He will explain that in next week's episode, which I'm looking forward to seeing how the anime adapts this particular scene. And of course, Asta's the one. This is one thing I do criticize the episode for. They don't see him actually cutting down Mimosa. It's just, okay, can you get me down now? Okay. And then you see Asta basically lifting down Mimosa. And you don't see him use his sword to slice up this big, huge freaking cross he's on. Yeah, it's like, okay. I get the fact, yes, they didn't show this in the anime, in the manga, but could you at least show in the anime? I mean, it would take you like a quick little 10 seconds that just him walk up, like him just go into her, slice the thing, and basically take her down. Simple as that. It would have taken maybe about 10 seconds of screen time. It wouldn't have taken very much, but no, we just show Asta basically take her down anyways. And it was right move. Now, basically to Asta protect Mimosas, of course, before they started the brawl, because of a bigger fight. I was like, okay, but now I'm going to participate in this fight anyways. But he tells Mimosa just stand back. Now, he knows that her magic is not good for attack. It's good for defense and healing. Basically, she uses a defense spell. She's good for defense. And he does care about her enough. He doesn't want anything bad happen to her at all. So, yeah, well, Asta basically is like, he gets up there and he fights Lasat, and eventually Lasat drops one of the swords. It's actually the first sword he picks up, which is actually in the very, he picks up and transforms white. He manages to grab the other, so I can tell basically because, well, he uses the sword later on. And he grabs the sword, and then Lasat basically beats him pretty easily. Yeah, Lasat is the winner of this fight, at this awesome fight, which takes up like a good 10 minutes of the episode. It's like, wow, it's like fights go over back and forth. Eventually, it looks like he does a scorched earth attack, which blasts right through his own headquarters and basically scorches the trees. Look like Noel's brother, and the guy from the Praying Man is not Shiki, it's not Jack the Ripper. I don't remember who this guy is. He's the guy who basically who has the mushroom power. I don't remember the guy's name. And he's next to him. It's unknown why he's not possessed. Noel, basically, Noel has a good reason. Because he's a royal. Royals are actually immune to the spell. Why Asta's immune because he has no magic. Yuno is turning to this anyways. But that's why the other guy is not. I have no idea. Yep, and look, and what does Zora do? He uses his traps to basically deflect off the lava, protecting Captain Melinar, who basically is spent. She's like unconscious, or basically her outfit is scorched. I'm surprised that her outfit was basically not torn to frickin' shreds, where she's out walking out of the place butt naked. I mean, she's a huge muscular woman. Yeah, but she's basically unconscious here. And of course, the episode ends with Lasat taking down Yuno and Asta, and they go down, and that's where the episode ends. Really damn good episode. Looking forward to next week. We're just going to pick up right where this left off, which, oh yes, I'm looking forward to this. And there's roughly up until like the episode they adapted last week. They've got roughly to catch up to that. I think overall about 11 chapters. Yeah, only about 11 more. It's about 4 or 5 episodes, I'd say. Okay, now to go to news chapter in the manga. Chapter starts up right where last week's chapter left off, where you had the Black Bulls breaking into the Magic Hunger. He's like, you guys, and of course there's a light passing, and you have Gooch's that, like, you guys, that aside, punish by those who touch Marie. Say what? It's probably us to say this. Yeah, of course everybody's like, take advantage. It's like, you shine it over here and let him catch you, you idiot. How many times did I tell you almost before you die? Yeah, it's Noel saying this. At least let me fight him and die that way. Luck. Take advantage of the confusion and pick Marie up. Yeah, this is Goose saying this. Wait, you didn't come here to save me? Yeah, and of course Asa's one saying, hi there, Royal House Sakura. It sounds like you've been taking a real good care of my 2 members. Never mind me, just take Asta and run. I'm not from this area, and that forbidden magic removed from the human path. I use you guys for the sake of my mission. It's kind of like saying something like that after you parked yourself at our place without asking. Even after watching us all this time, it looks like you still don't get it. They told us all about you. Talking as a bird for 500 freaking years, and you're a lady, but you're totally the man. This is Magnus. Hey, this. Oh yeah, he was also in the episode very briefly. Yeah, him and Vanessa just basically chatting while he's training. He's completely oblivious what the heck is going on. And of course, he's a cutie like he was always more than welcome. You have Gooch and you have Gordon saying, "You work so hard in the shadows. I think you get along. You can be my friend. Let's live up together from now on." This is Vanessa saying this. And you have Charmy saying, "First things first, eat a lot." I'm glad I didn't eat her when she was a bird. and then Yumi just puts her in a Black Bull's robe. You're already in a mix up with sort of weirdos and pitch black as it is. And it has her in the outfit, and then she just reads a grimoire and shatters her freaking handcuffs. And Black was like, yeah, that's the Black Bulls are all about. Appears you don't understand. If you shield the devil user, it doesn't change the situation. Rampaging here will suspicion from the boy is under. On the contrary, make the devil's crime of disturbing peace more serious. If feeling scared, but it's possible to save the kingdom that way. Looking about the past judgment, everybody's magic starts shrinking, which is shocking. Even Vanessa, basically her cat, just disappears. Asta basically is not affected by it at all because he uses anti-magic. And of course you have Yumi just using his dark magic on him. And he's stopped by Nozel. He's like, you're reckless as ever, foreigner. What are you planning to do after that move? Grant looks like he meant to miss, but you don't get a little worked up. And then you have Ferloion, the former captain of the Crimson Lion, just putting his dragon around him, his salamander. I swear, for the sake of your brigade members, you wouldn't even be worse suppression. Oh, thanks to me in time. You really did come back together. Captain Ferloion? Captain Nozel? Why? We can't afford to lose capable knights. In other words, people who acknowledge you aren't limited to any one rank or class. Nozel, Captain Ferloion, says Nozel. 2 brigade warcomers. What do you intend to do? We brought a mission from the Wizard King. The Black Bulls, Knight Brigade, and those suspected of ties to the devils, are re-exiled from the kingdom and kept under observation, and while they are abroad, they are assigned the mission to explore and investigate devils. What? I see the rose here. Clouds make a person. Yeah, this is Yumi saying this. He's thinking about this. Yeah, for our capital order. Yeah, and he talked about the magical. He's like, and then the king, the Clover King, is like, drat, Julius. He wasn't there when I needed him, and now he's being aberrant again. And you have Nozel saying, the brigades will dispose of your so-called devil. That's the cause of all this, and the kingdom's crisis will be over. He's like, okay, fine. How does that mean? Until you get that name of yours cleared, we're going abroad. Yeah. I mean, this had a really good. This chapter was good up until the ending's like, what? So, because Mickey seems to be a devil, he has to be exiled? What? So, my personal guess is they're probably going to have the Golden Dawn keep on the observation. And maybe the Blue Rose Knights. That'd be something. That's my personal guess they're probably going to have, because I'm sure that Yuno does not want to. Yuno's probably going to go with them because, well, he's his brother. And Mimosa, because the whole thing of being tied. Like, Mimosa probably go with him too, and probably some other people, but I'm not sure how big the group is going to be. Like, those tied with up, like, basically just the Black Bulls, and those tied with up, like, who else could it be? I mean, we'll find out in the next week's chapter, which comes out Friday. Yep, next chapter comes out Friday, which is just in 2 days. Yep, I'll find out then, but I won't review it until next week. And definitely next week, basically this week back on Tuesday. Yep. So yeah, this is a good chapter up until they got the ending. Basically, just the whole ending set up next arc. Yeah, this whole thing in the Royal Capital, like this whole match conquer thing, this only took about 4 chapters. Wasn't very long. It's probably set up for the next arc, which basically is kind of like a Exodus arc. But I probably would think it probably will last probably not as long as this. My personal guess, probably about 30 chapters. That's my personal guess, as long as it lasts for. Yeah, my guess is just 30 chapters, and that's basically it. It could be as much as 40 or 50. I highly doubt it's going to be like almost 90 chapters like there was for the Reincarnation arc. Yeah. I'm going to give this chapter roughly a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 9.5, but I'm not really a big fan of the ending. Yeah, the fact that everybody's exiled because of Osmi expected to be the devil. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Tomorrow I might have about 2 reviews coming. That'll be reviews for Card Captor Sakura. Aside from that, that's really it going to be for tomorrow. Of course, Friday, Fire Force and My Hero Academia. But until I see you next view, bye.